So the third review, I guess, of a blanket order and what you can do with that is going to be how to look at, again, we've looked at what's been released against it and open, but you can also look at what's been posted against the blanket purchase order. So again, if I go under line, I can go to posted lines, and this is going to focus more on my history. It's going to be focused more on which posted purchase receipts have I created, which posted purchase invoices have I created. So these are amounts that have been committed against that original quantity. So again, I can go to my receipts. So this lets me know that there was a posted purchase receipt created. This is the document number. This is for the chairs. I had received 80. And again, I can show that document. This will show me the entire posted purchase receipt that was done. So I can see on this specific receipt, I received not only the chairs, but also the desk. Again, you can see that it's a posted document. It's part of my history or my ledger, so it's not something that I'm able to edit. And then if I needed to, I could go ahead, I could add comments, I could add dimensions if needed, or look at the dimensions created. I could print a posted purchase receipt if I needed to. So if I needed that for auditing purposes, a lot of people now are just leaving that inside of their ERP system and looking at it when they need it. But again, I'm able to see this directly from the blanket purchase order. There's a relationship back to that blanket purchase order so that I can see exactly what has been released, what's been received, what's been invoiced, etc. And we'll see here that's where this quantity received has generated from. This is basically a sum of all of my posted purchase receipt documents that would show me what's been received against this blanket. So because I've got, again, those quantities and they're all tied together. So let's say I decided that I wanted to issue 740 as a release. Well, the system is not going to allow me to be able to do that because I've already created purchase order releases. In fact, I've already received against those purchase order releases. So the system is tracking that my original order quantity was for 750. So it's going to recognize that I don't have enough left in the blanket to release anymore. So on the line, again, you have the ability to be able to document line tracking. So here I can see that I've got one blanket purchase order. I can see that I've gotten 2 purchase orders that have been released. I can see that I've actually posted 1 receipt and 1 invoice. And as you can imagine, I can click into those. And again, just another way to see some of the same information, but I'm able to see the exact documents that are linked and related to my blanket. I'm able to attach to a blanket order. So if I wanted to attach an email, if I wanted to attach a drawing, if I wanted to attach really any kind of document, I could go ahead, click on my attached files. It will show me, ask me to choose where that file is located. It'll let me know whether that's a Word document, a PDF, Excel, etc. It lets me know which user attached and which date they attached it to. With the flow to purchase transactions, when I create purchase orders, receipts, invoices, etc., with this enabled, it will pull that attachment forward in all of those documents related as well. I can add comments to the line. So these comments are embedded behind the line. They allow you to be able to keep your blanket lines a little bit cleaner, but of course they're a little bit harder to see. But you could add a specific comment for that specific order line. In this page, it shows you the date that was added, and if you need to, you could always print that and present that on reports if needed. It fully supports dimensions and your ability to be able to tag documents with extra pieces of information that support financials and analytics. As we mentioned, we can drill into what's historical, what's in our ledger, what's been posted. We can look at what's open and still outstanding and unposted. For each of your lines, you're able to look at your item availability by. So if I wanted to look at that on-hand inventory, I wanted to look at that by event, I could look at it by period, I could look at it by variant, location, lot, and BOM level. So this just gives me various pages inside of the ERP for me to be able to look at my on-hand inventory. You can insert extended text, so you would have the ability on your item cards in your item setup to basically assign a comment to that item that can be inserted when you need. So that's an item card setup. If you said, well, there's a comment, maybe it's a drawing number, maybe it's a specification, you wanted that to be pulled in as a comment to the blanket purchase order every time you add the item, you can have that automatically inserted, or again, through the function of insert text, you can just insert that comment when it applies. Under Manage, you can add a new line, you can delete lines. You can also do that from your 3 dots down here. So of course, you can only delete a line if that line has no history associated to it. Up above, we've talked about the make order process. You can also archive. So if you wanted to take a snapshot of the blanket order as it stood in time, you could click on archive. It's going to confirm if I want to do that. I will say yes. Now I can see I've got an archived version of this blanket purchase order. So I can drill into that. And this is basically just, like I said, a snapshot of this document at the time. And it allows me to be able to, if I want, keep different versions and see the life and the history of this specific blanket. Once you've committed this into your ERP system and you've validated that the supplier knows about this blanket, you can change the status to released. You have the ability to copy different documents. You can calculate invoice discounts, which we can dig into more in a live training session or in other videos. You can print a copy of the blanket purchase order. So you can change the way these blanket purchase orders look. You can make them your own. The underlying language is typically Word. You can use RDLC if you need to get fancy. But essentially, this will allow you to be able to send an acknowledgement to the supplier. So here I can see just a very simple look at the blanket purchase order. I can add my company information. I can add my logo. Maybe you want to update different line information. You guys are fully empowered to do that. Business Central supports approval requests. So if you've got your purchase order approval flow set up, before you change the status to released, you can send an approval request, which would go to another user. They could approve or reject that. And based on that, you could send it to the supplier or make changes. As I mentioned, it fully supports tagging documents with different dimensions so that you can do analytics and reporting. You can add comments to the entire blanket purchase order overall. Negotiated pricing. So this would be a comment that's really more for just the entire order overall. You can attach again from here and you can see the approvals that it's gone through as well. Over here you've got a fact box. So this allows you to see additional information. I can see some statistics on my vendor. I can see information from the vendor card. If I needed to, I can use these hyperlinks to very quickly drill into the record. And then I can see a little bit more about that vendor. I can make changes if there's some information that's maybe no longer valid or a little bit inaccurate. And I can just close out of there. All of this we can drill into more in a live session, but this should help to get us started.